I want to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom, Kavash Kocha Protis, Kol Alosha, Yosef Yafi, Torah Anytime, for everything. Now, we have here with us a very illustrious young man. You have a Kolol Shama? Kolol. Kama Avarichim Shama? Yeshiva. Kama? He is a Rosh Yeshiva of 120 Bachrim, a Novandic branch in Yerushalayim. Now he is here. Now, his father put out Reb Gershon's the Alto for Novandic, Madrigas Adam, with Nikudos. Now they're making it over. Ever since we got into business, we're into Novandic. Suddenly, he sold 2,000 copies, mainly in the Lakewood direction. Things are moving. There's a tremendous growing interest. People want Madrigas Adam, and they're remaking it now at Moyadim. And he's right here, right now. Now he's asking, I'm going to mention, it's absolutely beautiful. Faskowitz is behind this. He's a Rosh Yeshiva. He's an Anikel, the Alta from the Vardig Rosh Yeshiva in New York. Rabbi Faskowitz, Zalzang Zinstag. And now this Rabbi Yisrael is here. He asked me, can he ask some big bucks? Kama kesef tatzarich. B'shvil lasot et zeh. מדרגס האדם, מידם או סתם? מדרגס. כמה אתה צריך?
על כל 1,000 ספרים, $9,000.
Okay.
לפחות 3,000 ספרים.
He wants to make 3,000 more, and $900. What do you say? $9,000. What's that? 9,000. That's 9,000 for 3,000 svarim. Anybody wants to give? Anybody wants to give $9,000? The next 3,000 madregas adam svarim all over the world. What was that? What's that? Elif? No, that's what it is. But he wants to make Atar Tel so Shalosh Elif. Adif. Come, yeah. He'd prefer he'd like to make another 3,000, but it looks like each one of them costs $1. Zelo habe. Huh? $9. Oh, for each one. Right.
Times 4.
$9 times. He wants to make 3,000 of these.
Yeah, 27,000.
And how much money does he need? 27,000. But if somebody has $9,000, then we'll be able to get 1,000. So we have this is Rabbi Yisrael, one of Reb Gershon Liebman's right-hand men. His father was number one. So Chaim Shalom HaTzadik, he was Reb Gershon, one of his top men. Rav Shalom, this is his son. He's Rosh Yeshiva. He gives his life away for yeshiva like a real Novandic. In Yerushalayim, 120 Talmidim. They're lomdim musar yoter me'iragil. Huh? They learn much. There's more musa going on. It's a more musa place, and he wants to put this out. Anybody ready to give money? I'm happy to accept it. Give it to me. You want to give it to him? Tovet. You want a dress? Mark Tovet, send it to me. I need fast data my kesef. Tov. You know Mendel? Anybody know me? Ask anybody in Lakewood. Follow the signs. Tzadik Bola ear. That's me. They probably have my address on the bottom. Tzadik Bola, Tzadik Yoshev Be'ir. Anyway, Rabbi said, since we started it into getting into Novandic, there's a tremendous growing interest in this shita all over the world. And he suddenly has 2,000 copies from nowhere. It didn't go much. None of these things moved too much. He's on Molige, Bali Musa, B'rucham, I would say, is quite popular. Of all the old Bali Musa, B'rucham is a special, whatever, there are some more or less. But this for sure wasn't, suddenly it's booming. And we'd like other people would love to get a hold of this sefer. I have people all over the world making Novhardok, chaburis, all over the place. I once had one of the Biedermans calls me up. Rabbi Melch Biederman, what are you, Shalom Yid? He says he loves my shita. He says it's the same thing as him. It's exactly him. There's a lot of in common between Lulav and Novhardok. I don't want to go involved what exactly. And he said the only thing he doesn't like is why am I calling it Novhardok? That's me. I got the same sheet. Isn't that something? You call me up, this fellow from Israel. And people love it. Their lives are changing by leaps and bounds. Do you want to have a chalik? Get the $900. We get 1,000. How many copies? How much? $9,000. That's what we need. Or whatever you're going to give is fine. But don't send me $1. I'm not ready to handle that stuff. Get some bigger money, and I'll get it right to this Chashav Yid from Yerushalayim. He gives his life away for Klal Yisrael. His whole life is building Torah. You know what that is? I want to encourage everybody to join. Let's try all to do it. I just got a call from my shliach in Denver, Rabbi Shel Kellner, and he has this Yid from Missouri who's off to his parents are reformed 10 days back, and they went off the derech and suddenly he popped up, and he's not from, but he loves Yiddishkeit. He's 30. He's a rancher, a cattle rancher in Missouri, and they just called. He wants. We're in touch. So we're starting to move. And he wants to be from, he wants to know how to start, what comes first. We're getting him on board, Mitzvah Hashem. I keep davening, make him all from. You know what Noach Weinberg said? Honey, you're in the middle of whatever you're doing, there's a fire burning. The Holocaust, do you know during the Holocaust, I saw a letter in Jewish Observer. Years ago, there was nothing around for Jewish. They didn't have Yated, they didn't have Modia. They had the Jewish Observer was all we had those days, pretty much. And I remember once in an article they wrote, those Yid, the American boys who were alive during the Nazi Holocaust, they were on such a guilt trip that they didn't do more. They did plenty, but the whole article was, no, but didn't we try? We didn't sleep day and night. And Rabban Cutler was sitting in a car on Shabbos to say Rabban was going crazy. He ended up being burned in crematoriums. How did America respond to it? How much do you care about your brothers in Israel? You know what the Tzionim said? We're not good with them. I'll tell you one simple reason. They asked one of the big Tzionim about what's going on in Israel. You know what he said? 1 cow in Palestine is worth all the Jews in Europe. You ever hear that? It's a famous thing, he said. I shouldn't say such a thing in public, but it was known they were heartless. They couldn't care less. And America, there were anti-Semites over there. But I don't want to talk about the whole business over there. Roosevelt was a big anti-Semite, not like the world thought. And that's why Rachmana litzlan, whatever, Chaba Weissman will try to save whatever we could. He begged America drop a bomb. He begged the Zionists help battle, and nobody cared. It was a shrek, and he was crying his eyes out. Look what's happening to my brothers every day. Thousands or tens of thousands of Jews are being tortured to death. And they're emptying out Europe every day. Please help us out. Care, show don't have a heart of stone. It was a shrek, that matzah. Now comes me. Do you know that a spiritual Holocaust is a zillion times worse than a physical Holocaust? And there's Yidden all over the world without Shabbos, without Yom Tov. You know who told me this? Ramey Hershkowitz. I'm a special, he didn't say this lashon, he was yelling, he says, it's pekuach nefesh. Pekuach nefesh, how we have to care to do something for Klal Yisrael. So I say minimum, daven every day. Oh, you have a shita that you hold where you are, where you're learning is doing everything, fine. But make sure you cry a half hour a day at least. Do you care or it's not part? Well, I have a different shita. You gotta care, that's Aleph. You know what it means when a neshama never put on tefillin, ever, and he's coming up to the next world. It's not going to be a picnic up there. You know what the Kotzker Rebbe said? But she's not a yachsin either. She's potter. She's potter. It wasn't her fault. Yeah, but she's not going to get. It's a pachad. There's nothing for them up there. What they have to, when the neshama goes through, at least let's talk. Reb Weinberg used to talk himself blue in the face about these things. That people should care. But Baron Cutler used to scream about being makar of people. Do. Now there's people's. There's Reb Baron, Reb Shneya, Reb Nosson, Reb Yehuda Jacobs. He used to beg us, go out. Okay, I'm not telling everybody. Some helping people is it's a good habit. I tell people make money for Aniyim and Eretz Yisrael. Do for others. That's Aleph. It's good for yourself. It's healthy. To do for other people is your health. You'll live longer. You'll live healthier. In Gashmias, you're a different Bria. They used to beg us for a Shiva, so I didn't go. So I'm not telling. Whoever doesn't go, you got a good friend right here. I stayed here in Lakewood. Are you crazy? I'm going to fly. I had my reasons. Who wants to go? They didn't have the hashkafas to do that. You have to understand that. They weren't pumped with that from day one. That's why it doesn't work. Chavetz Chaim Yeshiva, they have 70 yeshivas. Chavetz Chaim built all over the states. How'd they do that? As soon as a bacha goes into Kailul, a young man goes into Kailul, for 5 years they brainwash him, you got to go out. After those 5 years, he goes out and he's happy. I just had one of them over here. He's going to a Tyre younger man. He's going to Tampa, Florida. He's going to turn over the whole place. There's 50,000 Jews. He's making a kail over there. That's what they begged us through our shivas. Reb David Shustel recently has said, he said, you should pay them to be in that kail. I saw myself with different guys who are in that kail. They're different people. I saw the same guy before and after. Once they're there, I saw in Melbourne and in LA. I was in both places many, many, many times. And you can't recognize. More nachas from the kids. And the guys I got to, I remember, you're a quiet guy. Suddenly, everyone's calling him up. Rabbi, can you please help us? You know what that does to you psychologically? When they need, and he's learning 3 stars a day. Just he might learn a Seder with a balabas. And Shabbos, he's got guests. He's a different Bria. And the whole Melbourne turned around. Thanks to the Lakewood Kail. And the whole Manalapan turned around because of the Lakewood Kail. And the whole LA turned around because of the Lakewood Kail. You know what they did? But they need so much more. So Lakewood's into this. There's no question about it. Shmuel Karnetsky screams about it. But people are different. I don't know what Yeshita saw. But if you want to go out, yesh hami lismach. Don't worry. You got so much backing. Rabban Kotler in Gan Eden, Reb Nosson Bachsvogel said, he's afraid he'll never get out of Gehenna because he didn't make a koil in every single town where there's Jews. Just to be there. You don't have to go around knocking on doors. Because being there, go to Manalp and they'll tell you it's a different place. Just because of in fact, the guys who call me, there are a few people that are coming from, there's whatever, a certain person I have to deal with. Guess who I am? I'm a tshuva. I'm a Baal Tshuva from Manalapan. Lovely people. Baal Tshuva from Manalapan. They made them from without going out. Imagine how much they're dying out right now. You know that? There's a big spot in Philadelphia where we were talking of maybe we'll do some activity over there. It's too late. They all died out. You know what that means? Thousands of Jews never saw Shabbos Yom Tov. I don't know. I'm not getting it. I don't want to be mekatrik chas v'shalom. But one thing for sure, don't feel guilty if you're going out. At least that much I want to accomplish. After a while, you forget the reality of what's going on. Okay, anyway. Now let's talk. Im Kodur, Tommy Vins, Ani Beseda. Okay. I might talk Hebrew in the middle here and there. Anybody know Hebrew? Why'd you guys learn Hebrew? Let's go. What happens when you go to Israel? I'll help you out. It'll be one of my services over here. I'm kidding. Anyway, what should I say? we got together this week, the Rבים. I'm going to tell you what a wise guy I am. I'll say it right in front of everybody. You're going to find out what a Cheverman I am. This happened this week. Every year, the Rבים, first of all, how did I get involved? You're not going to believe this. Do you know that I was once, I don't know if you guys think I'm a good talker or not, but all those quiet types that feel, you know, it's not easy, that stuff. Mendel was already a big Kanaka. Do you know what my history is? I don't want to say his name. Is a world famous, the biggest. Came to Lakewood to help the younger light learn how to speak in public. There were 10 younger light those days. I'm going way back, you know. I'm ancient. I'm from Lakewood. The whole Lakewood was 200 people. I'm one of those. Like anyway, 300. He comes in, and we all got together. We're interested in learning how to speak. So he starts. So he gets. There are 10 younger light. Make a speech. Each guy had his 5 minutes to make a speech, including me. I'm telling you, this is a true story. When they got finished, he's a great person. Now, I may have asked him. He's gewaldig. Number one, that was if you happen to be very articulate. He had a whole thing. You're very good in whatever. And he built the guy up. You have a talent, and it's going to go places. I see it. The way you spoke. Each guy, he gave him a whole, you know. Then he came to me. I says, well, you should never be miyayish. Don't give up. There's always hope. I guarantee you, I talk more today than all 10 guys put together. I out-talked the whole island. And you know why? Because I have bטחון. You know what bטחון does? I can tell you another story. This story of... What? That's exactly what I did. Don't be yayish. I felt like 2 cents. I felt like I felt like, look at you. You know, it teaches you don't be in a spell from nobody. Listen, by bטחון, everything's bטחון. Because I don't care about teva. I don't want to reveal certain things about myself, how I'm hanging on a hair. And in a lot of areas, I'm just not good at certain things. And I run to Hashem and boom, I get without him. What? Listen to this one about public speaking. What happened? I'm not saying who, what, when. Somebody told me, the first time I spoke, Torah Masorah, 8 years they're doing this for the Rבים. And how many years? 8 years? 9 years? Almost 10 years they're doing it. That year, I was told by Adam, not Stam, a big person. Mendel, you're not bad in writing. You're doing good work, but speaking is not for you. That week, I was already in the bטחון mode. I was already, when that other story happened, I wasn't into it. I just got depressed. But then I'm a different story. As soon as I was told, a big person, not Stam, someone that made it, that's important in my life, not Stam, told me this. As soon as he hung up the phone, I said, now I know I'm going to be a great speaker. Within 2 weeks, I had 4 speaking engagements, which I never had before. One of them was Torah Masorah. Torah Masorah, you know, there's like 400 Rבים get together once a year. They go to Connecticut. They used to go to Deal in that area. And they mechazik each other. So they need speakers. So they have Rishvul Kamenetsky, Rabbi Malkiel's always there, Rabbi Aaron Feldman, you know, they have Rabbi Alex, they're great, they're phenomenal speakers. Then they wanted the dining rooms, they want one of the younger light to speak. So I became an instant success, because that's the year that I had bטחון. You know, Gam Zula Torah, the Maharal says, Vav is a mahapach, the extreme opposite. So when I was told that you're not cut out for speaking, I said, Now I know for sure I'm good at it. I said, Gam Zula Teva, just the opposite. And that week, 4 engagements, one of them was Torah Masera. And I was an instant success. And I went from they schlepped me from one dining room to another. And after a while, they went straight to the Rosh Yeshiva department first. Oh no. I remember what I once said. It was Erev Purim. I hope I didn't embarrass anybody. I got up and I says, you know why I like to drink? It was Erev Adar. Because when I drink, I'll see 2 Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky's, 2 Rav Goldberger from Cleveland, and 2 Rav Bresta from Scranton, and 2 of my Manal, Rabbi Gelbex. I said this in public. I was trying to be funny. Anyway, so that was one of my first years, and I became a ganze. The guys look forward. Is Mandel going to be there? Because I was funny, and you know me. So I was instant. But after a while, you got to be fair. We want some other guys to speak. So like a year or 2, there was someone else, there was me, and more and more lately, they want to get more guys involved. And I don't mix with other people. I just go straight that. Last year, I think he said I'm not speaking at all, or whatever he said. This time it's going to be different. And I never argue. Me? I don't deal with. I went straight to my room. I says, Eibishter, I'd like to speak. I would very much like to speak. A few minutes later, the bang, bang out the door. Mendel, yeah, what's the matter? They want you speaking downstairs. The same person who said you're not speaking. Pesha also, Pesha Hitta. No, you killed the next place. And this, every year this happens. Last year he said, but this year it's really no more. I'm asking him. Go upstairs, Eibishter, please do me a favor. I want to speak. And before this happened, this year, he told me, look, you're going to speak, they have 6 speakers. There's 6 different dining rooms, large crowds together, younger lights sitting in different, and 6, you're going to speak in one place. You repeated that 10 times. Mandel, because very often I end up flying all over the place. I have ADHD. That's another problem. Whatever. So you're speaking is one place. We repeated it again and again. Speaking in one place. So I says, all right, fine. But when I was alone with Hashem, I says, I want to speak. By the way, I mentioned I like other guys also speaking. I'm not such a selfish guy. And I say, I'll leave it up to you. You know me. I want to speak. It's a big mitzvah, and I still have to break I want to speak. And you do what you want, Eibishter. What happened? He comes into my dining room. And he said, that's the dining room I'm supposed to speak. Suddenly, a guy comes in. Something happened. One of the speakers disappeared. There's no speaker in the Crystal, one of these biggest of the biggest places is, you got to come there. So I spoke in 2 places. Then suddenly the Chassidim called me. We want you, because the Chassidim, they like me. The Chassidim eat alone without their wives. And I enjoy it there a lot. And especially what I like about the Chassidim, I come in there, they put me on a chair. They know me. Look, I know I'm a Ganzel Litvak. It's baloney. I'm a Chassid. Now I'm revealing the truth. I like Chassidim. The man alone, I like that, and especially the thing what I like the most, every time I walk in there, I see empty wine bottles. I see, these guys are my type. I see the empty wine bottles. I get up on the chair, they give me a streimel. I have a special thing with them. So sure enough, they come running, you coming in? I says, yeah, but I got to ask, stop asking, but I'm not supposed to speak. He said, just give a bracha, which is what I do anyway. I end up on the chair with a bracha, and the next place I went was, they asked him permission to my next move, whatever, and it went to him himself, the guy in charge. And I come into there, so while I'm talking to him, of course, you know me, I don't talk low, so I made my speech right there, whatever, I made my jokes. So the first day, I was in 4 different places. The second day, we're going to give you a different place. In your dining room, you're not speaking, but you're going to a different place, Shane. And I went up, Eibishter, you know me, I want to be speaking. Unbelievable. Suddenly, his assistant, he has a guy that goes around that takes me from room to room. He suddenly runs over to me. Come, you got to speak. I says, the Crystal. I think it was the name of the other place. He says, no, not the Crystal. There's another place. But he said the Crystal, the International, each one of these ballrooms has a name, So you're going to the ballrooms. All right, you're his assistant. I went there. It turned out it was a mistake, whatever, and I had to go to the other place too. You hear what's going on? I'm not finished. The place that I was in, one of my dear friends, I found out, they told me later, my wife told me, they're all listening. His whole speech was a chazorah of my last night's speech. And he had a whole pirish on it. That was his speech. So then I got 3 of the big places, and then I bump into one of the smaller places. They didn't have a speaker. Okay, I'm right here. I'm not running away. So I had 4 or 5 places. He said, you're speaking in one place. He said it 10 times to me. You're speaking in one place. He told me before the whole thing started. And I ended up 9 places altogether. I live with the Eibishter. I know, that's it. I do this with everything. Don't go to people. Keep away. I tell parents, you having trouble with your kids? Go to Hashem. Trouble with your wife? Go to Hashem. If Hashem sees you going to him and not to the other person, he takes it like, oh, you're making me real. You know what real means? Always go to Hashem first. Whatever's going on in your life, go to him. First we got to do, and of course we have to have bטחון also. Go to Hashem first. For everything, go to Hashem. My favorite story is this famous story with the monkey that swallowed. You know the monkey who swallowed the gold coins. Whole story with the Yid that he used to thank the pirates, used to give money before Yom Tov. And he ignored the pirates, and he'd say, Hashem, thanks a million for that, for all the gold coins you gave me. And the pirates used to look at him, what about me? The story goes, what really happened, whatever. But that's clear. It could be, I forgot to say thank you to the pirates. Eibishter, you're so good to me. He was connected with Hashem. He forgot to say thank you to the pirates. And this happened year after year. The pirates was a nice guy. Till finally one day the pirate says, okay, this time I'm not giving him nothing. He thanks Hashem. Let Hashem help him. So it was a famous story where a monkey, he left his gold coins, and the monkey comes in, eats up all the gold coins, and he falls dead inside the Yid's basement, and all the coins come out. The Yid says, hey, look at this. And he bought himself a Pesach like never before. And then the pirates comes in to see the Jew. Now, see, he's always thanking his God. He doesn't thank me. Let's see what's going on, but he probably has nothing to eat. He's starving to death. He's supposed to say thank to me, not to his God. What is his God? I'm the guy here. As he comes in, the Yid is sitting there. He has 10 times more than he usually does. He has steaks. He has double amount of matzahs and wine, and the kids, and he's got guests this time that he never had before. He's knocking. He says, what's going on? Doesn't make sense. This is the one year I didn't give him a penny. He came to the pirates that year. The pirate says, well, you always say thank you to your God, right? So go to your God. You're not getting nothing from me. That's what he told him. And the Yid turned around, he left his head off, because the Yid was an emes of B'teah B'Hashem. He didn't care what the pirate, oh, see, you don't like me. I go to him, I'm not worried. And sure enough, the monkey comes, and the gold coins end up, and he ends up more than ever. So the pirates knocks in the door, what's going on here? I didn't give you a penny this year. And he said, this monkey, oh no, wow, I wonder what happened to all those gold coins. And a monkey came in, ate up the gold coins, and he died because he couldn't deal with all the coins, and he fell dead. He slipped into the basement of this Yid. Through the window, as I get the coins came flying out. Did you get the story? I didn't say it so clear, but you got it. Anyway, Bekitzer, Abaisai, I believe in that. This is the best story in the world. Go to Hashem. Don't go to that doctor or that lawyer or that.
What do you mean go to Hashem? What brought him?
Don't even Don't even, you're supposed to get like, wherever you're doing, I'll tell you my own experience, going to a doctor, on the way, say it 1,000,000 times, Hashem, I'm going to you. I'm not going to no doctor. It's a shtadlus. The Chazon Ish says he does a shtadlus with coldness. But kridus, that's how you do a shtadlus. Eibishter, I'm going to you. You are the doctor in my books. I once did this when I had to have an operation. It was nishim guliyim. Things come out so much better when you talk like that. Hashem himself will get involved in whatever's going on, but with your whole heart. I just do this lip service, you know. Okay, look, I've said this many, many times. Chavis Havavis, the Maspik, who's the Rambam's son, a Rishon, and the Kara Kemach. All three say, when you take pills for refuah, do not believe in those pills. It's Hashem. And when anything you do, you're not allowed to believe in that stuff. And he has rayas how people can be healed with a davar hamazik. 3 times in Tanakh, where people were healed with poison. Did you hear that? I took poison instead of the real thing, and I had a refuah shalema. Go ask any doctor. Placebo works 30, 40%, right? Placebo means fake pills. You can fake a guy out, you tell him, anyway, okay. Now, where are we up to? Okay, we have the parsha, Kala ben Yefuna.
What do you say with all the Joshes?
What?
Oh, with the Joshes.
I don't know myself. I want you to know, honestly speaking, I felt this time, I don't even know what I'm saying next. I'm not, he mentioned the guy in charge says, make it short, because the guys who make it short, at least they're prepared. You know, he's got a point. So for the first time I started preparing. But I don't like to repeat the same drush in 2 places. I like to see, you know. So very little of what I wrote, I actually said. Whatever came to my mind, I said. And I felt it wasn't so good, and somebody even mentioned. And then I turn around and I thank Hashem for the beautiful Shabbos. And Hashem, the drushes were fantastic. I write in my diary. I decide, I don't ask one person, was it good? Never! How did you like my drush? Never! Never, I don't do that. Eibishter, it was fantastic. I do this all the time. It was such, as soon as I do that, just today, someone comes over to me, Mendel, my wife fell off the chair when you spoke. Today, you do that? You do that? Ilamafreya, don't ask me how it works. I do this all the time. I'm speaking now. I should have prepared better. When I'm not impressed. I'm going to walk out and say, Eibishter, make that, it should be good, you know. And then suddenly this happens all the time. I get 3, 4 compliments, more compliments. Whenever I felt I didn't speak well, I always daven Eibishter. After I finished, you realize, don't ask me how it works. I say, Eibishter, make it should be a good speech. And then, without fail, I get more compliments than I ever do. Always. 3, 4 guys come over, Mendel, tonight was great. I remember Simcha Lang once told me, one of those times, tonight was gewaldig. Really? I was so worried, but you messed up now. I have a shita. I don't worry. Now listen to this. I come there to this Shabbos get together. 2 people came over to me. I have a lot of guys coming over to me. That's also up to me. I once wanted a big crowd after me. I davened and suddenly they're all running after me. I once wanted to be left alone and nobody knows me anymore. I promise you. I'm a cheverman. I do. You can't imagine how let's work it out. Everything Hashem, I like it like this. I can ask my wife. I can pick the supper without talking to her. I don't get involved. I'm not that magushim. I'm not so much involved. What's for supper? But I enjoy food. You want to hear about enjoying food? You ready for this one? This happened 15 years ago. There was a Novandiga who was the biggest masman in the world, from the old Novandigas. He was a zaken. He was 90. The kids found the guy used to learn 15 hours a day non-stop, and there were wrappers from certain cookies that he was crazy over. He used to eat those cookies. The kids used to find the wrappers all over his Gemara. He liked his Gemara. He enjoyed those cookies. I like chocolate chip cookies, and I recommend that. A Novandiga! They thought of Lamaza, I like chocolate, together with a Gemara. You know, learn 15 hours a day with chocolate chip cookies. It's a great idea. You know, I used to have tinus in somebody. I don't eat before davening. I don't like to eat before davening. I don't believe it. I don't like to do it. But then I watched somebody who ended up being a tremendous masmid, a Chassidish guy, and every morning he gets up early and he gets that cup of coffee. And he drinks Yishmak with a blat Gemara. And I says, what are you such a fool for? You don't eat before davening. By the way, I still don't eat before davening. But I see the vod. Eat before davening. It'll make you learn. You hear what's going on? Look, not everybody, I can't wait to learn. I can't wait for the coffee. Now we're going to learn. It's a different learning. Goes good. You hear it? Yeah, it's a good cheshbon. Sometimes it's not so good to be so frum. Don't be so frum. Give yourself a break and enjoy it. In Novandik, they used to give them food, stuff them up all night long. They threw cookies at them. Lo nachon yom shishi, yom chamishi, kol halayla, yulomdim musar nachon, sukariot nachon. Rabbeinu haya chazak al zeh. Hello? Reb Gershon, give them good food, ice cream, come on. You know what Reb Gershon once did? He was waiting in line in Eretz Yisrael, famous story. You heard this one? Who heard it? You heard it?
I think you said it.
Twice?
Once, maybe.
Okay, one more. You guys, somebody, I'm petrified, they shouldn't say he repeats. Then I'm dead. He repeats. You know what I did in the dining room? Wait till you hear this one. Listen to it. And when on Shabbos, boy, did I do a job. The same place that I spoke last night, I like to say, says 9 different places, you know. So I mixed up where you said what. So I come to the same place that it was yesterday, and I said the exact same drasha. And then somebody stopped me in the middle of Mandel. We heard that last night. Oh, I'm sorry, but I just got Bizyanis, Rabbi it's Kedai. You know, get him Bizyanis. I hold it was good for them to see that. Better than all the drushes. That in mind. So I repeated. So they're going to say I'm one of those guys who repeats. He's not so, he repeats. Yeah, I'm one of those guys who repeats. So, I think he's getting older. So, yes, I'm getting older. So what? You know, if you're not worried about your covered all day long, you don't care, but they won't make you speak again. Oh, they won't. I'll take care of that. They won't make me speak yet. I'll go upstairs and say, I would like to speak. Watch. You know what happened to Reb Weinkrantz? When the doctor told him he's never having kids. The doctor's a true story. He walked outside the office. He had just gotten married. There was something wrong over there. And the doctor said, Rabbi, you ain't ever going to have children. He walked out of the doctor's office, walked over to a tree, and he said, hey, Bishta, I would like to have children. 9 months later, he had a boy. He had 3 children. Oh, my. What?
Gershon was in line.
Who?
The ice cream. Gershon was in line in ice cream.
You want to hear the ice cream story? Listen to this. Famous story. אתה מכיר את הסיפורים? 2 גלידות בבקשה מרבנו? לא מכיר? He was staying in Eretz Yisrael. It's scorching hot. And sometimes you really need a drink. And there's nothing around. There's an ice cream stand over there. and everyone's standing on line, and you just gotta have something. And standing in line is a Rosh Yeshiva with a frock and a nice Hamburg, and he just got to see the Kedushin last night, and there he is waiting for ice cream, and he's standing ready to creep into a hole. He don't feel too great, standing on line for ice cream. Rosh Yeshiva, you'll be eating Glida? Well, he's all embarrassed, poor guy. And there's a few of them like that. Long Shani Yidin, this Rosh Yeshiva, He's also standing on line for Glida, very nice. It was a little embarrassing, standing on line for ice cream, together with the 5-year-old schnooks. If standing has Rosh Yeshiva, has a little bubby over there, and he's, with his pops, and his ice cream's all over his face, and standing behind me, and he's smacking his lips, and Rosh Yeshiva's next. And now I go for Glida. You know what Glida is? Ice cream. Anyway, so Reb Gershon was on the line. I hold he went on the line as a prat. He didn't need to be on that line. But he said, this is great for me. Like a Navadig is doing something normal, that's, for me, I love it. And he stood there and smiling away to get his ice cream. Gershon Lieberman. הוא עמד שם בשורה כדי לקבל גלידה ביחד עם הילדים הקטנים. And he's standing over there, and suddenly he gives a scream in front of all the Rosh Yeshiva should hear it. Shtei glidot b'vakasha! I want 2 of them, please. That's Reb Gershon. You know what reminds me of Chaim Shmulevitz? You don't know? Chaim Shmulevitz was an Vardiga Einikel. Now he had a lot of, you know the story. Yeah. Listen, I got my ice cream stories. He was sitting with the Ger Rebbe at the end of a big thing, and there was 2 ice creams over there, 2 ices, ice creams, whatever. And the Ger Rebbe, Beis Yisrael, I'll pass, He wasn't going to eat his. And Reb Chaim Shmulevitz took his glida. Baruch atah Hashem, you remember Reb Chaim Shmulevitz? And he ate it. He ate up the whole glida. As soon as he finished, he turns to the Ger Rebbe, and he says, "Ihr esst Eis? Are you eating yours?" No? Can I? Do you mind? Now, I'm going to tell you something. P.S. about that story. There's someone in the family there who's on a campaign about stories of Reb Chaim. Watch out with his covered. And I heard this story. Who said that ever happened? I went over to it. Adam Godel V'Noira. I'll tell you clear. The man has Ruach HaKodesh besides. He's a Godel B'Yisrael Mamish. And I asked him about the story. He says, "No question, Reb Chaim could have done that." What's the question? Would he have done it? Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim Shmulevitz was that type. It was like that, always joking around, real Navadig. Him and Rav Shmuel Birnbaum. Anybody know Rav Shmuel Birnbaum? He used to stick around and act normal. He had a Navadig chinuch. You know that? Shmuel Birnbaum? He definitely. They say he once remarked, his Yerusha Shemaim came from Navadig. He had plenty to do with them. I'm not going to make him ice mirror. I don't need to. I don't want to know, but that's what they say.